Yo, what is up, guys? So first of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. This is today we're making a trade recap. First trade recap in 2026, 2026. New year, new me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm joking, but actually, New Year, new me though. What do I want to talk about? So let's just talk about first what I did in this week, like a, I would say like a week, maybe more, like 8 days, 9 days that I did not trade. So in these 8 to 9 days, 7 to 9 days, I'm not sure, actually like 8 to 9 days, what I'm saying, that I did not trade, I was mainly focusing on, uh, how do I say this? I was mainly focusing on becoming a better person outside of the charts. I was identifying the habits that do keep me not do keep me down a bit. Like I'm saying, I I realize that I'm not the person yet that is worthy of being profitable, and in that sense, I'm trying to become a person that's actually worthy of saying I'm profitable. So I believe in the I believe that if you want to get something, you have to become that person. You cannot be in shape and still eat unhealthy or do eat unhealthy, right? So in that sense, you have to stop eating. So you have to stop the habit of eating unhealthy to become in shape, right? In that sense. So comparing this to trading, I need to become disciplined outside of the church to become disciplined on the church, right? So in that like 8 to 9 days, I was mainly identifying what habits are keeping me still in that same place, and how can I how can I improve these habits, right? So that's one thing I've been really struggling with improving those habits because removing habits is never that easy, but it's a long process, I guess. But I'm still like actively trying to become that better version and not uh, falling for these habits time on time. And outside of that, and like mainly trading focused, uh I've been adding some stuff like actually I've realized a bit more about my strategies. So I'm trading continuation, right? And when does continuation how to say this, when does continuation work the best? When we're like moving in that trend, right? Like if we're doing stuff like this, I'll go move up a bit more. When we're moving up in a trend like this, right? That's when we're trying to catch a continuation to go higher. But if price is actually like doing this, then what kind of continuation am I trying to catch within there? So with that in mind, I realized more that I should be focusing on uh, identifying better market situations to trade in. For example, most of the losses I took in December, I would say at least 2 to 3 losses that I took were during consolidations, and me realizing, and like I do see them time on time happening that I lose within a consolidation, right? So with that in mind, uh, and like with that insight that I learned that okay, it actually does make sense that a continuation needs to happen when we're trending and not when we're in a consolidation. But that's one thing. Another thing that I try to learn, actually, like what I try to understand a bit more is when is it optimal to like take an entry, right? So for instance, on this higher time frame, you could have taken this trade right here, right? But if you were to say, for example, if you're like taking a trade on this time frame, maybe I'll go even one higher. If you're taking a trade on this time frame and you see that we have like, you could take a trade off of this imbalance, but is it more likely that we go higher from here and like go higher, I don't know where to where, but we go higher from here, or is it more likely that we rebalance lower and then move higher? Because in this case we did like get a reaction off there, but I'm trying to make a point that if price is more likely to go lower, right, just don't take the trade. For example, this is not even balanced, right? This is above the 50% of the range, so that's one thing. But the point I'm trying to make is if price is not like, if price has more reason to move lower, then why take the trade? You need to have a strong uh, motive, or like strong magnet, that price has reasoning to move back lower or move higher. So today, and I realized that as well. What I realized, what I did in December mostly, is just taking trades without like a big context, like not me realizing, okay, what am I actually trying to do? But the way I started thinking about this in the last couple of days is that, okay, I'm actually trying to understand the market and understand what price actually is gonna do, right? Because, for example, in December, I was not really taking the trades with with a mindset of, okay, why does price need to move lower, right? So actually, like, why is there more motivation to move lower than move higher? That's the point I'm trying to make. That little insight I did not have during December, but I realized that now, and I'm just taking that more often with me during the trades I take today. So those are a couple things I did in the days that I wasn't trading. I also did a bit more back testing and with those concepts as well. Another thing is that I started using more supply and demand within my trading. So what does that mean? Supply and demand is just like an order block, whatever you call that. But it's, for example, like this. But I'm using it in a sense of, okay, we understand that, for example, we have a big demand, so as a supply zone up in here, and if we were, for example, we were in a long from right here, we could anticipate that like somewhere in here there's gonna be more sell pressure again, and that we could adjust our take profit to that. So with that in mind, I could, for example, say, okay, I might set my take profit right here or somewhere in the range, for example, so we don't have to like really target that crazy RR. Also, I'm realizing is that I don't have to take really high RR trades, because I should just be taking 2 to 3 RR trades and like take the most optimal high win rate trades. That's also another thing that I realized. But further, that's enough talking about what I did in a couple days. Let's just get into the trades I took today. So I came around in the market around like 3:40 p.m. So like right around here, I came in the market. So what did I see right off of market open? Actually, I was not there, but what I see happening is that we sweep all of these highs right here. These highs right here all got swept out. I was really looking short, right, for today to happen. We had pre-market, pre-New York Open, we had like a large consolidation happening. We sweep lower, manipulate these lows, you could say, manipulate higher, and then we actually get the sell-off that I was anticipating, right? Because we had a lot of, actually you could argue that there's some liquidity resting up in here. I also argue that there's some liquidity resting up in here as well. So with those two things in mind, you could like say, okay, we can, but that's like for the next part. So we manipulate this, right? We manipulate these highs, tap into the demand zone right here, but like I wouldn't really know if this like would be the high, but like you could just argue that, okay, somewhere in here we could see sellers come back in because we have some demand created, order block created right there. So with that in mind, okay, we're like 2 for 1 plus 2, so we sweep this demand right there, underlying motive that we need to rebalance this. So with those things in mind, I was looking more bearish. For example, if you were within this trade, I would not be looking on the 1 minute because there it will move way too fast. You should be probably looking on a lower time frame, like the 15-second, because like there is really not any structure that you could be trading off within this candle, because it's just up and down. So where the price moved to, price moved to this demand zone. I kind of want to see price like sweep out these lows at least. Well, okay, it's fine. Price moved higher. Why did price move higher? Why did price move higher? So a reason that I think price moved higher, right, is that we have this big, massive rally up. If we wanna, like, how to say this? If we wanna rebalance this in some sort of way, if we need more selling pressure, how can we get that selling pressure? Okay, we have. How can we get that more selling pressure? Okay, we need to sweep more liquidity. We need to fill more sell orders. How can we get the sell orders to trigger? Okay, we have resting liquidity up in there, resting liquidity up in here, and that's what we do. We grab that liquidity that we have up in there, and what happens? Price start getting a reaction. I saw this happening. I saw this massive move up. Another thing that I realized is that, okay, this massive move up does not have any like actually this bearish candle, but does not have any like bearish candles within that move up. If you want to count this as your range, bro, this range is not good. So yeah, that range got really quickly declined, actually not hold. And I see this CICD happening, so we got the, actually I did it in 2 minutes, so we had that change in state of derivative or change of character. We have happened on the 2 minute right there. So that happened. That was for me enough confirmation actually to say, okay, we could be possibly moving bearish right now. So we could be possibly moving bearish, right? So another thing that I also start using now is that I want to be in a, like, if I want to be selling, I want to be in this 50%. If I want to be buying, I need to be in this 50%. I'm not gonna buy in a premium, and I'm not gonna sell in a discount. Actually, take entries for buy or sales in premium or discount. So that's what I'm trying to say. So we were in the premium to sell, take entries, and all I want to see now is some sort of some sort of entry within like OTE, like within that premium of this smaller range. So on the 1 minute you don't have a lot of structure, but I look on Top Step, they give you like 15-second time frame. So that's what I looked at. I looked on the 15-second time frame, and what I see happening is that, okay, this 15-second time frame, I measured out everything 50% above there. So we got a lot of chop on the 15-second, but that's not really that necessary. I marked out this 15-second demand zone. We got pushed straight through there, but I think if you look on the 30 seconds, that it will literally be held. If you look on the 30 seconds, I think. Actually, that doesn't even exist on the 30 seconds, but okay. On the 15 seconds, we move through it, but then you could argue, okay, why do we move through it? We have like a demand fair value gap up in here as well. So I could basically remove this, say, okay, we tapped the fair value gap, but mainly I saw this happening, we're moving through, I saw us getting to the OT level. I like this really, I really like this spot right here, right? So with the underlying idea that we need to rebalance the Asia move and the London move, and the reason why we could be moving higher is to grab more liquidity, more sell orders to fill, to get that more violent rebalance. With those things in mind, I said, okay, this could be a viable entry. This is not a reversal, this is a continuation lower for us to rebalance even this shorter move right here. So with those things in mind, and that we're not in this 50% of this, even if we want to move a little higher, right, we should at least rebalance the 50% of this move. That's how I think, and we need to rebalance everything. So on this really low time frame, I said, okay, if you even want to move higher, we should at least rebalance this. So with those things in mind, I took my entry to rebalance this. I really could have, but like I would, saying with that in mind, if I were to hold, I could have like held to like this previous low that we created, but even then I would have not probably held this. Why? Is because I had like a really good, I had a good entry, I had like a sufficient amount of take profit already, 2.33 RR. There's like I took it with 100 USD risk, so as you can see, one trade 230 on that, and it was sufficient. I don't need more. It's like a good winning day. I should be targeting small and consistent wins. So that's all I need to be targeting, and that's what I did today. And another thing that I realized is that I sometimes struggle with explaining why I took a trade. So today, looking back on it, the trade was pretty a pretty good trade. So the main factor why this short worked out, I would say, is that the underlying fact that Asia and London pushed up really high. With that thing in mind, I think this is why the move played out, and that why we moved up is to grab more liquidity to fill out more sell orders, because we did not have enough selling pressure. So with those things in mind, that's why I think we did what we did today. So this zone right, I did mark out already, I think, on this chart. Pretty sure I did. Did I not? Okay, well, we did not. So that's unfortunate. I didn't mark out. This is not really necessary. This is not necessary. So this can all go, and yeah. For example, right now, okay, I did mark this out. This was a zone that I was anticipating buying pressure to come back into. how can I define this short? Actually, I would say it was probably this candle right here. So yeah, what do I expect to happen on Monday? I would say that we might rebalance some of this move that we created to go lower, but how can we move back higher, right, to grab more buying power? For example, in this instance, we could just fill out more orders within like these lows right here, fill out more orders, and then actually start moving higher, right? Because if we don't have enough sell buying pressure, there is a reason for us then to say, okay, we need some more buying pressure, let's fill some more buy orders, let's sweep lower and then move higher. For instance, what we did today. So that's today's trade recap. It's a bit of a different trade recap, I think, mainly because I changed the way I look at the market right now. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about the way I trade or the way I did today's trade, just leave them down below in the comments. If you watch this video, like, comment, subscribe. I don't know, I don't think a lot of people watch this video, but yeah, the trade recaps are going to be back. We're going to be trading on Monday as well, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on Monday again. Ciao ciao.